Hey, and welcome. So, if you're diving into the world of IVF, you're about to meet a whole cast of hormones. And honestly, it can feel like you're studying for a huge science exam, but we're here to break it all down and just chat about it.
Right? It's like, what do all these letters even mean? It can feel like you need a secret decoder ring just to keep up. But don't you worry, that's exactly why we're here, to clear up all that confusion.
Exactly. Think of us as your guides on this. We're going to decode this whole orchestra of hormones together, one step at a time, so you can feel way more confident and in the loop on your own journey. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, so before any performance can begin, the conductor, that's your doctor, needs to, read the sheet music. That means getting a handle on your unique starting point. And a huge piece of that puzzle is checking out your ovarian reserve.
And that brings us to our very first key player on the stage, anti-Müllerian hormone, or as you'll hear it all the time, AMH. This one is a really big deal, right at the very beginning.
So in the simplest terms, AMH gives your doctor a little snapshot of your egg count. It's actually a protein made by the tiny follicles in your ovaries, so it's a fantastic indicator of what we call your ovarian reserve.
And here's why this is so awesome. A simple blood test for AMH helps your team figure out how you might respond to the medications, which lets them create a plan that's tailor-made just for you. Plus, the levels are super stable all month long, so you can get tested anytime. So convenient. Okay, so once the team has that baseline, it is time for the crescendo. This is the stimulation phase, and the goal here is to encourage a whole team of eggs to grow and mature instead of just the one that usually does in a natural cycle.
And to make that happen, we bring in the heavy lifters of the IVF world, gonadotrophins. You'll definitely get to know these pretty well, because they're the injectable meds that do most of the work growing your follicles.
Yeah, basically these are just lab-made versions of the hormones your body already produces naturally, but they're given in a way that kind of supercharges the whole process. And there are two main types that work together as a team.
First up, you've got FSH, or follicle-stimulating hormone. Its name pretty much says it all. It stimulates those follicles to get growing. Then you have LH, or luteinizing hormone. It kind of joins the party to help the eggs mature inside those growing follicles. They are the ultimate dynamic duo.
So, what does this whole stimulation thing actually look like? Well, typically, it involves about 8 to 14 days of injections. And during that time, you'll be monitored really closely with ultrasounds and blood tests to see how everything is progressing. It's all building up to one final, super important injection, the trigger shot.
Speaking of that final shot, let's talk about timing. Because in IVF, timing isn't just important, it is everything. Your doctors have to prevent your body from ovulating on its own schedule so they can go in and retrieve the eggs at the absolute perfect moment.
So, how on earth do they do that? Well, with another set of meds that work with something called gonadotropin-releasing hormone, or GnRH. You can think of these as the traffic cops of your cycle.
And there are two main types here. Agonists kind of work by first revving up your system and then hitting the brakes, which stops premature ovulation. Antagonists, on the other hand, are more like a direct roadblock. They immediately block the signals that would cause you to ovulate too early. Your doctor will pick the one that's best for your protocol.
All right, the follicles are grown, ovulation is totally under control, and now it's time for the final cue. This is the moment everything has been building towards. It's the famous trigger shot.
This shot is usually a hormone called HCG, which stands for human chorionic gonadotropin. What it does is it perfectly mimics your body's natural LH surge, giving those eggs that final push of maturation they need to be ready. Think of it as the ultimate it's go time signal.
And the timing here is unbelievably precise. The egg retrieval procedure is scheduled for almost exactly 36 hours after you take that trigger shot. It's a really carefully coordinated countdown. Okay, deep breath. The eggs have been retrieved. Whew! But the hormonal support isn't over just yet. Now the focus shifts from the ovaries over to the uterus. It's time to prepare the perfect, most welcoming environment for an embryo to snuggle into. And the star hormone of this final act is progesterone. Seriously, if the gonadotropins build the house, progesterone is what comes in and makes it a warm, cozy home.
Progesterone does three really critical things. It thickens your uterine lining, it makes that lining all sticky and receptive for an embryo to implant, and it helps support the early pregnancy by keeping the uterus nice and calm. It's just the ultimate support system.
Now, there's one other supporting player that we've actually been tracking this whole time, kind of working quietly in the background, and that's estradiol.
Estradiol is a type of estrogen, and your levels naturally rise as your follicles grow. So, watching it tells your doctor two things. One, that the follicles are responding really well to the stimulation meds, and two, that it's doing its job to help prepare that uterine lining right alongside progesterone. It's like a constant progress report.
So there you have it. From AMH all the way to progesterone, every single hormone plays its own specific vital part in this whole IVF orchestra. And knowing what each one does isn't just about the science, it's about feeling more in control of your own story. You're not just a patient, you are totally the conductor of this orchestra.
And of course, just a little reminder that this whole chat is for educational purposes only and is definitely not medical advice. For way more detail on the complete IVF process, you can check out the portal you see on the screen, ivfforme.com.